Hello, everyone. What's going on? It's Sal Stretford Post. How you're doing? And welcome to another episode of Chatterbox. I hope everyone is having a fabulous Sunday afternoon. It's Sunday afternoon where I am anyway, guys. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for joining the stream today. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new and smash a like on the video. If you guys can do that for me, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Thank you ever so much for joining me today, guys. Thank you. Guys, look, I'm going to start. Look, today I've been seeing a lot of, this indirect murmurs about Ruben Amorim. And anyone who just walked through the door would think that Ruben Amorim has been at Manchester United for 3 years, not 3 months. And it seems like our threshold in regards to managers is getting shorter and shorter to the point that it's non-existent. And this is becoming a little bit of a problem, because our expectations are becoming a little bit unrealistic with managers, especially given the fact that we've been drifted into mediocrity over the last 12 months. And this is a big issue going forward with the fan base. And I would say that it is becoming a little bit crazy within the fan base, a little bit, I wouldn't say people who lack a little bit of patience, but it is becoming that. And I just don't feel that this is fair on any manager that comes to the football club. I'm seeing it a lot. I'm seeing people making excuses for Ineos. I'm seeing people, attacking the manager. I mean, you got to understand this, right? You got the problem is the biggest question we have to ask ourselves, right? And this is a very big question: is that did we appoint Ruben Amorim too soon? Could have we waited till the summer? Now, that is the biggest question. That's the question we should ask. Not is Ruben Amorim good enough? Because Ruben Amorim's good enough. Ruben Amorim is one of the best young managers in Europe, regardless what you think about his tactics or whatever. He's one of the biggest, most brightest managers in Europe. And who else are we going to get? You look at who's in the market. Who's going to make these players play like prime Barcelona? That is what everyone's expecting at the end of the day, isn't it? These players are just simply not good enough. I said earlier, you can't make Peter Crouch turn into Ronaldinho. It just wouldn't work, would it? Because he's not that type of player. You can't expect Exeter City to play like prime Barcelona. It won't work, will it? They don't have the players. It's exactly the same as Man United. We don't have the players to fit the system. So did we appoint Ruben Amorim too soon? Now, look, I see different sides to this. I see a side that, it's good he came in. He can get to know the bad apples from the good apples. He can separate them. And you know what? By next season, we will have all the good apples and we'll have the right team to take Manchester United forward. But at the same time, when the manager has jumped in now with a bunch of players that were underperforming anyway under another system, who are not used to the system, are not his players, who have endless problems off the field, it becomes like, this is kind of expected. I expected this. I honestly expected this. I mean, I was backing Eric Ten Hag to the hill and back. And I knew that these players just weren't having it. And it just takes one or two players to down tool to make this happen, to obviously, to make the team perform badly. This is the problem at the end of the day. Let's read some of your comments real quickly. I've got a lot of comments there. Wow. Big up, Tyborg. What's going on, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Really good to see you. Absolutely good to see you. Really good to see you, of course. Ineos and Glazers out. Joe Glazer as manager, I would say current group either be ready, put some energy or move on. Absolutely, I agree with that one. Fan manager, please give 17-year-old Gabby a bit of check. So you want to throw a 17-year-old in a Manchester United side that are underperforming. It's just not advisable. Absolutely not. Gabby Abedja on Obi Martin, we must call out the first. I mean, this is where football IQ comes in, guys. This is where the IQ of certain fans needs to look, no offense, right? I've been watching a lot of football my whole life, but you've got to be very careful here. Man United have a cesspit of negativity surrounding the football club, a black cloud, so to speak, surrounding the football club, right? We cannot just throw in Bianchieri. We cannot keep throwing, Obi Martin and just say, yeah, go out there, throw you in the team. They're going to do great. What makes you think that? Youth football's different to first team football, and I trust Ruben Amorim. What's going on, fan? How you doing? Good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing well. Of course, Rasmus Højlund, bench now, time, warning, energy, 17th youth player, Gabriel Martini. Okay. People watching, let me tell you something, guys. Rasmus Højlund will score 30 goals in youth team football. Right? Let me tell you that right now. Okay? Rasmus Højlund will score first team, a lot of goals in youth team football. He's a Danish international, will score lots of goals. So what makes you think that Imagery is ready? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we got to be careful with these young players. We nurture them. We don't just throw them in. Oh, he's the next guy. He's the next guy. It's just not Man United way. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you got to nurture them at the end of the day. Big up Rasmus. Big up Sanjay. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Good to see you, of course. I hope everyone is doing fine. All good, my friend. All good. Good to see you. Absolutely good to see you. Lucky Singh, you've written about 1 million messages here. Let me have a look. 1 second. My message to fan base, please target brands and Snapdragon. You target yourself, mate. Make a movement, mate. You know what I mean? We all have. Rasta, what's going on? Bless up, mate. All I can say is that you need to get a win next Sunday. Yeah, well, the league for me is a dead at the moment. It's a dud at the moment, brother. I mean, I'm not, the league for me is over in regards to Manchester United. And we need a couple of wins. It'd be great if we can get one over Tottenham, Rasta. That would be great because we do need points. We do need points. And hopefully we move up that table. We need a couple of more wins. I think if we get 3 more wins, we can sort of relax in the league because we're not going to qualify for Europe. We're not going to qualify for the Champions League via the league. We're going to qualify that for the Europa League. Europa League is everything, of course. Absolutely. Big up SLD. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Rasmus out. Lucky Singh, calm down, man. Calm down. Ineos gave Eric Ten Hag. Why don't you say that the players that behind them who are supposed to be supplying the goals out? Why don't you say that? Who are not creating goals for them? Why are you targeting a young player all of a sudden? That's when I don't take football opinion seriously. You know what I mean? Is when I get these over-exaggerated sensationalist targeting of one player. It's his fault and he is the devil. He's the one who makes Man United play bad. And that's it. It's him. Of course, it's all, we should have known that. It's Rasmus all along. Not to mention that we got a hero ball behind him and stuff like that. Madness. Zerkap, SLD. Ineos gave Eric Ten Hag a contract just to sack him quickly, then basically giving Amorim an ultimatum of either taking a job now or minimum back into or lose out on the job by the end of the year. This, at the end of the day, you know what? Ruben Amorim could have took another job. He would have got a Man City job. He would have got another job. He would have got a big job. You know what I mean? He was wanted by a number of clubs. At the end of the day, you know what he should have done? He said, well, okay, so be it. But one thing I would say about this is that you cannot bring a player in, a manager in November and then not back him in January. It doesn't make any sense. That's lambs to the slaughter. That is like ridiculous. It's insanity when you think about it. You know what I mean? It is actual insanity what Ineos have done here. They've made a number of mistakes already, but this is actual insanity, But Ruben Amorim, and let's talk about Ruben Amorim, because Ruben Amorim has called out a number of players in regards to their performances. Ruben Amorim has said, quoted, that if these players do not pick it up, we're going to have to look for other alternatives in the summer. Because now, one thing about Ineos and Ruben Amorim is that Ineos have given Ruben Amorim the keys to speak up and the keys to remove players which he feels are not suitable, i.e., Marcus Rashford, who at one point was deemed untouchable, wasn't he? He was the untouchable one at one point, wasn't he? And now he's been told he can go to Aston Villa, a rival Premier League club. So Ruben Amorim has said that if these players do not pick it up, he's going to have to look for alternatives in the summer. Looks like Ruben Amorim will be backed in the summer. I'm guessing they will be. They have to be. I mean, this is a huge window, of course, for Ruben Amorim in the summer. So Manchester United could be looking for other players to. Even your favorite players, guys, are going to be untouchable. Your favorite players are going to be untouchable. So watch out for the summer. Ruben Amorim quoted saying that these players in Portuguese media, these players have to pick it up because this is not good. This is not good enough. This is, these players need to improve. And if these players do not improve, they're going to have to improve the squad in the summer. And I believe that they will because they are proving that they are not good enough. They are proving that, what I would say is that mentally they're just not right. And that is not just one player. You come on my stream and start attacking one player. That is not how you do it here on Stretford Post. Like me, we got a football IQ on here. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. And basically it is all about the players, man for man, every single one, from the goalkeeper, from the midfielder, to Bruno, to the striker. That is what it is. Do you know what I mean? And we need to look at that very, very carefully, of course, guys. Absolutely. Why don't you protest, Lucky Singh? Why don't you protest? Tybo, you would expect this from rival fans and not from our very own Amorim. Came in mid-season to manage one of the worst United sides in history, and come people say don't get it. It's not the manager. Tybo, I'm confused. You know what? It's a bit like people coming on the stream and attacking one player. One player will not make the difference. Man United can have whoever they want up front. They're not going to score goals because at the end of the day, they don't create chances for the strikers, isn't it? And you know what? This is the problem with people just not looking at things logically. That I mean, when they're talking about Ruben Amorim, you know what? I'm seeing people saying, oh, but he's this, he's, you know what? We've heard this excuse before. These tactics, this, that. At the end of the day, these players have played under different managers with various tactics, and it hasn't worked. And this is what they don't quite grasp. I don't understand it. Who do they want as manager? Gareth Southgate? Do they want Gareth Southgate? Because at the end of the day, there's no managers out there that are going to make this team play like a Manchester United team should play. He needs his own players. He needs to be backed. And then after he's backed, and then maybe we can make a judgment on him. Even then, I wouldn't jump at it because at the end of the day, we've seen this story, haven't we, Tybo, before? We've seen this book. We've read this book before. We've seen this movie before about sacking managers. It doesn't work. Evidence would suggest that. If this went to the court of law, even if the Glazers had O.J. Simpson's lawyer, at the end of the day, they will be found guilty and the players will be found guilty because they're the ones who have not been playing and the managers are the ones that have been always been sacked. But the results don't change. Strange, isn't it? At the end of the day. And I find it bewildering, to be honest with you. Now, when I get into what Ruben Amorim should do, and he must not fall into this trap. Ruben Amorim must not fall into the realms of, you know what, getting pally with these players. And that is even the players that he admires, like Dalot and Bruno. The key for Ruben Amorim is not to get too friendly with players and not to have favoritism. If I was to give him one little bit of advice, I would say this. No one should be exempt from criticism. No one should be exempt from falling from that team and drop to the bench. No one. And that includes everyone in the team. No one. I don't want Ruben Amorim to get into the realms of favoritism, okay? And this is obviously a big issue. You know, shoehorning players into certain positions. Yeah, shoehorning players into certain positions so that they play because they're your favorite. For example, bringing Bruno into midfield and bringing Dalot into the left back position and just so you can play. I don't want that. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, play the best team, play the players in the right position. It doesn't matter if they're favorites. At the end of the day, it's not working. So play the players that are best for your system. Don't play players that are like Portuguese, for example. I think that is the biggest advice I would give with respect at the end of the day. You know what I mean? That's the biggest advice I would give. The biggest advice I would give to the fan base is this, right? Stop it. He's been at Manchester United 3 months. Not 3 years, right? 3 months, right? He's had one player come in with a couple of youngsters, right? That's it. At the end of the day, give the guy a break. Cut him some slack, so to speak, right? And just calm down. Calm down, right? At the end of the day, look, it's like Ronaldo. Calm. You know what I mean? It's like that. Just calm down. Stop attacking one player. You know, look at things as a collective. Look at it from a bird's eye view, so to speak. Don't just talk about one player and one manager or one thing in the football club because we all know what the real issue is at that football club and it's upstairs. Do you know what I mean? That is a real black cloud hovering over Manchester United at the moment. Glad players' performance call out. Yep, absolutely. Yep. Players, Rasmus will be okay. Kamali, look, at the end of the day, Rasmus hasn't performed. The lad lacks confidence. And at the end of the day, he's a young lad. And what we needed, and I did mention this in the summer, is an experienced striker to complement the young strikers. And I did say this in the summer, of course, many, many times. And people say, no, we don't need a striker. We don't need even Tony. We don't need these players. But there you go. Lo and behold, it is quite obviously that we do. You know, you need an experienced striker. You can never have too many strikers in your squad anyway. Goals... everything in football at the end of the day. And, you know, I felt like we did need to sign a striker and we didn't sign a striker and we didn't sign a left back and we spent all month chasing a left back. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Pearl, big up everyone. Big up Pearl. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Absolutely. Hope you're doing well. Glazers out, says Sanjay. Big up, of course. Good up. Big up. Sanjay, Ineos, Glazers out, fan respect. Absolutely. Glazers out all day long. Glad woke up. Big up. At the end of the day, look, you know what? we at the end of the day just need to calm down. You know what I mean? Just calm down. I mean, at the end of the day, what we have to do is be patient. Right now, nothing can happen now. There's no window, right? It's finished. The window starts in the summer. What we can't do is just start bringing in a cesspit of negativity, because the cesspit of negativity is going to resonate onto the squad. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I made a walkout at Old Trafford about the Glazers be way before, you know what I mean, Lucky Singh said, you know what I mean, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And to be honest with you, I've made movements. And you know what? At the end of the day, we've done our best. But right now, what the most important thing in regards to Manchester United is to support the manager, back these players. I know that some of these players are not your favourites, but back them, because at the moment, being negative and carrying on with the negativity is just not going to really bring us forward. It's not going to really benefit us in the long term, is it? At the end of the day, that's one thing I would say about that. We have to obviously be a little bit more smarter as a fan base, right? We know that this team is not, I mean, it doesn't take a brain surgeon to know that this team is not good enough. I mean, I think everyone and their mother would know that this team is not good enough. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you would, I mean, it doesn't take a genius to know that. But right now, what we have to do is that we have to just be calm. Be calm, and let's stop with the attacks and the overreacting. You know what I mean? The overreacting, like you're overreacting, like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Relax. At the end of the day, he's coming midway through the season, different formation, not his players, off-field issues up to his eyeballs, and there you go. What do you want him to do? You know what I mean? You can ask him to make miracles. Miracles don't happen, unfortunately, guys. My advice with managers, saying with my help advice with manager, I don't get your language. Lucky saying about good luck. Thank you for your comment, my friend, at the end of the day. Yeah, but you know what? One thing I would say is that just need to calm down at the end of the day. Big up. Hit the like button. Thank you so much, Tybog. You absolute legend, Tybog, the legend of the chat. Always comes out with the logic. Big up yourself. And this is what, you know what, at the end of the day, look, we can sit here and we can moan all day about certain things. Do you know what I mean? We can cry all day about certain things and say this and say that. And, you know, Ruben Amorim should do this. Ruben Amorim should do that. Rasmus is a fraud, you know, and things like that, you know, but these do not help the football team, unfortunately. Do you know what I mean? Right now is what it is. You can attack the Glazers, just lay off the players a little bit, lay off Rasmus and the young players. If you're going to attack the young players, attack the likes of Bruno and Dalot and players who've been there for years, who've been underperforming. Do you know what I mean? Something like that. And that's what I would do if you want to attack players, of course. Bigger LT, what's going on, my friend? How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. We just have to wait, see the season, a painful cleanup of the shit. And Amorim has been given the authority to do that, because we need to see who is up for it. And absolutely, this is all about the summer, isn't it, LT, bro? This is what it's all about. It's all about waiting to the summer. It's all about being, okay, we're calm now. This league season is basically over, right? The league season is basically over. We're not going to qualify for the Champions League via the league. You know, we're not going to win anything within the league. We're not going to get Europa League probably within the league. So what we have to ensure is that we get some points on the board. We move up that table. And then maybe we can try and bring in a couple of youngsters here and there just to nurture them a little bit, but throwing them into the cesspit of Manchester United, 17-year-olds and 16-year-olds in the cesspit that is Manchester United. There is no Roy Keane. There is no Andy Cole. There is no Ryan Giggs. There is no Peter Schmeichel. There's no Dennis Irwin. There's no Paul Parker. There's no Steve Bruce. There's none of these players. There's no Eric Cantona. Do you know what I mean? There's none of these players in this squad right now that can nurture those players and make those players play better. We got a number of players in our squad right now who are not experienced at winning major trophies. You know, people could say, and they think about the class of 92, and I was there, guys. I was there with the class of 92 were brought through. Do you know what I mean? I went to many games when I seen them when they were young kids. At the end of the day, what you have to understand is that they had a whole squad of winners. But Pallister, Bruce, Irwin, Schmeichel, Cantona, Keane, Cole, Giggs, all were serial winners. Serial winners. At the end of the day, serial winners, guys. And that is the difference. Right now, they walk into that football team, they look at that football team, and they look at the players, they look to their left, they see that player, they look to their right, they see that player, and they're like, where's the winners in this team? You know, all right, they're experienced, they played a lot of games, etc., but where is the actual winners in this team right now? That's the difference. So we can't just say like, oh, we're going to throw Aiden Heaven, Chido Abumartin, Bientieri, Shea Lacey, Fletcher in the team, and it's going to go, wow, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden change. You know what I mean? As I said earlier, Rasmus can play in the youth team and score 30, 40 goals in the youth team. That is how, you know, how low the level is. It's not the Premier League level. We have to be smart. When we bring in players and etc., we have to make sure that these players are nurtured properly. Even Cristiano Ronaldo under Sir Alex Ferguson was brought in gradually. 20 minutes here, 50 minutes here, 20 minutes. If you all remember, when Cristiano Ronaldo was at Man United, the first time when he first signed for Man United, people were talking about him going on loan. Do you remember that? You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, what we have to understand, we have to be patient and we have to nurture these players properly. Ask yourself, where were players at 21, 22? Ask yourself, where were certain players at 21, 22? I guarantee you the majority of players at 21, 22 weren't banging in goals. Trust me. Big up, Composed View. What's going on, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Really good to see you. Good to see you, of course. Absolutely. Fans should have no favorite players at this present moment in time. They should have no favorite players, and fans should also not jump on players now. Just especially the young players. Like I said, I'll say that as a Man United fan for 40 odd years, right? Don't jump on the young players, because at the end of the day, there's a number of experienced players in that side that can be jumped on first. If you want to jump on a player, there's a number of experienced players in there that can be jumped on way before we start jumping on the likes of Rasmus and Armand and players like that, of course. Big up, Lucky Singh, though. Thank you for your comments, though. Thank you. You wrote a whole biography there, brother. You wrote a whole biography there, but I'm just getting through there. But thank you for your comments and stuff like that. Big up yourself. Cabose for you. What I don't understand is fans turn on Amorim, channels gradually turning on him. Yep, under the guise of criticism. They say they're patient. However, it doesn't seem that way. They're not patient, mate. They're not patient. And our threshold in regards to how long we're giving managers is getting shorter every single year. You know what I mean? It's gone from 3 years to 3 months. I mean, what's going on? Do you know what I mean? I mean, you expect changes in 3 months. Alex Ferguson had 4 years. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy when you think about it. And it's just such a lack of IQ in regards to the football team. Yes, you can say that he shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have played him there. He shouldn't have played him there. But what do these guys want him to do? At the end of the day, he has not had a preseason. He's not had a preseason. You know what? And this is his preseason, basically. So when else is he meant to try new things? I don't understand it, to be honest with you. And we should have expected this. Hell, he told us this was going to happen. He told us this was going to happen because obviously it's got. Look, if you look at what Sporting Lisbon went through, if you look at what Sporting Lisbon went through, the trials and tribulations that they went through when Ruben Amorim first came to the club, they were losing quite a lot, and then suddenly it changed, and then suddenly they were winning. You know, they were winning. And that is what we need to understand here. You know, we need to be a little bit calm as a fan base. You know, I know we're emotional. I know we want more, but we need to be calm. We need to relax a little bit, okay, on this manager. At the end of the day, many people wanted Erik ten Hag out. And let's not forget that Erik ten Hag, before he came to Man United, everyone wanted Erik ten Hag, right? Everyone. And he was one of the best up-and-coming managers in the game, right? And it was the players that turned, not him, players, right? At the end of the day, whether they're down tooling, whether they're feigning injury, whatever they were doing, they're the ones who threw the manager under the bus, right? So right now, logically, no matter who we had in charge right now, whether we have Sam Allardyce or Ruben Amorim, it doesn't matter. I support the manager because I'm tired of the players, you know what, thinking when they feel like it, when they wake up on the right side of the bed, then I'm going to start playing for the manager. Then I'm going to start, you know what, working hard for the football team. I mean, working hard, for example, give it 100%. Should go without saying at Manchester United. It should go without saying that players should be, you know, 100%. As soon as they walk on the pitch, there should be intensity. They should all be fighting for the badge. You know, where we come from. You look at this, right? Recently, we've lost the great Sir Bobby Charlton. We've lost Dennis Law, right? We've had the Munich air disaster tragedy anniversary, right? And I have not seen one passionate performance from Manchester United. Not one fight, no fight on the pitch at all. I've seen nothing that suggests to me that many of those players are Manchester United players. And even some of those players are on that pitch right now who are experienced, who are captains, are not the guys to take us forward. Manchester United fans, don't go against the managers, please. Absolutely not. Big up, Lucky Singh. Big up, big up. Hit the likes. Thank you so much, Rasta. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Big up, big up. Of course. We also need to remember Amorim said that he is still learning the players and he hasn't got enough training time with them. He is bound to make mistakes in terms of plays. Absolutely, LT. And when you haven't had a pre-season, when there's been no pre-season, how do you expect him to know these players inside out? When you're doing pre-season, how long's pre-season last? 2 months? Roughly? A month and a half? You're there 24 hours with those players. He has not been in a room. He's not been anywhere 24 hours with these players. He's not been 24 hours with these players. He's bits here, hour there, 2 hours there, press conference, press conference, press conference, press conference. It's been like a mismatch of training and press conferences. He hasn't had 100% the players 24 hours, you know what I mean, yet. So this is his preseason. So the only time he's going to try things, if he believes something's going to work, is when he is on the pitch on match day. That is what it is at the end of the day. Like I said, I've seen you turn against I've seen you turn against him. Who's turned against him? Who's turned against who? Guys, can you tell Rasta about who I've turned against, please? Me turn against the manager. No one. Rasta has not turned against the manager. He has not. Who's turned against him? Who has? Clarify. Let me see. Because seen a lot of stuff. I'm not turning against anyone. Definitely not. Also, Sal, he has little time to train the team, and we're playing a 3-4 days. Absolutely. He also to fight player power, and we haven't talked about the owners yet. Absolutely. Look, if we even take away the owners and you just look at what Ruben Amorim has had to deal with in regards to the team and the squad and the off-field issues and the injuries and this and that, of course, other managers have the same problems. But when you're coming in, look, people can look at the end of the day. This is how football is, right? This is how football is, right? This is how I take football. Right, you can have a manager like Ruud van Nistelrooy walk in the door, have a new manager bounce, simple formation, win games, great. But it's a bit like eating sugar. You'll get a big boost and then you'll drop. That is like management. That is like football management. They'll get the boost, then they'll drop. What Ruben Amorim is trying to do is trying to build a legacy. He's trying to build something that is going to last for years. A little bit like what Sir Alex Ferguson did when he first went to Manchester United. A little bit like that. And it takes at least a couple of years to implement this, you know, especially if he hasn't got the power to remove players and to sell and to sign players as well. So what he's trying to do is trying to work with one hand behind his back. And that is where it's difficult. Big up, Danny B. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're good, my friend. Good to see you. I think Ineos have taken the wrong decision. If Erik ten Hag has never, if in the plans, why they give him a 5 signings? They said money and look, at the end of the day, Paul, they made a mistake, didn't they, Paul? But I you know what? I would say that okay, Erik ten Hag won the FA Cup, right? Erik ten Hag won the FA Cup, great. But he did badly, and we were set up to foul this season. He was set up to foul this season, you know, because obviously the noise that happened throughout the summer. Let's remember how long it took Ineos to make their decision. It took ages, didn't it, Paul? You know what I mean? It took ages. And then obviously the negativity will resonate into the squad because the manager, you know what, was indecisive as well. Ineos were indecisive of whether the manager was going to stay or he was going to go. And that is what made it difficult from the start of the season. And that negativity has drifted all along and like a bacterial infection right to this day. It has affected us. Ineos affected the season. Ineos, look, you know what? Hindsight's a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? I did say last season that we're giving Erik ten Hag until October, you know, and look, you know what? It depends. He won the FA Cup, you know, he's won 2 trophies with Man United, and we can look back at it. But what I would have done, Paul, I wouldn't have backed him like we backed him. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have backed him like that. I mean, they spent in the money that they spent. You know what I mean? Is obviously they wanted to get rid of him anyway, of course. Disgraceful that people are turning on the manager. Absolutely, it is disgraceful. Yorkshire Girl, afternoon, Sal. Good afternoon, Yorkshire Cowboy. How you doing, my friend? I keep saying it. Until the attitude on the pitch is right, we'll struggle. Yorkshire Cowboy, you know what? Attitude is the most important thing in football, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's all about the attitude and application. Right now, me and you can see, we supported this club a very long time. We know what attitude is. We know what 100% effort is, don't we? You know, we've seen players limping on the pitch, carrying on, haven't we, bro? At the end of the day, we've seen that for many, many years. You know what I mean? We know that this team is not giving 100%. We see it from the start of the game at Old Trafford. You know what I mean? We don't see anything that is going to liven up the crowd. We don't see any crunching tackles and 50-50s and things like that going in for it, really going for the jugular. Do you know what I mean? We are very, very passive and lethargic and lazy on the pitch. And I'll say that. We run, like we're about to press, and then we hover back a little bit, then we press back a little bit. We do that, don't we? And that's the problem with Man United. We're not giving 100% at the end of the day. Tybo, lucky, why I have a fair feeling that your luck will run out eventually. Absolutely. Absolutely. Big up, Tybo, on the training pitch. Good afternoon, Reds. Good afternoon, fan. How you doing, brother? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you, man. Yeah, look, you know what? I don't know. I mean, I've never turned. I'm not going to turn about any manager now. I've made the sole promise that I won't turn against the manager ever, and that's not that's something I'm not going to do. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I've seen enough. I've read this book. I've seen this movie before. People have been telling me about Ruben Amorim, how they've read this book. They've seen this movie before. Mate, you're obviously not concentrating then, because at the end of the day, we've sacked various managers and it hasn't worked, has it? At the end of the day. Yorkshire Cowboy, the attitude is nowhere near United 86 for 90 Fergie era. We're worse. We are worse, Cowboy. Absolutely. Far worse. I mean, back then in the late 80s and the 90s, that we actually had people who would fight on the pitch. And we had, in regards to metaphorically speaking, we actually had players who would fight. And even those players were not good enough. This is the whole thing, isn't it? Even those players were not good enough. We actually had players who fight. These days, it's not. I said earlier on today in my stream on Breaking Dawn, I said that Swindon Town of the 90s can come into this Premier League and probably win it. You know what I mean? That is how bad this league is. You know what I mean? And these players are in general. Do you know what I mean? And Jan Agafiotto will probably be the top scorer in the Premier League. That is what it was. At the end of the day, football is so poor these days in regards to just overpaid now. They don't give 100%. You know, they're rich too soon. And that obviously money's great. You know what I mean? But they should be able to earn it. Not absolutely. It's also sterile. Absolutely. Eric Ten Hag has a valid working system. United just ignored it. Ruben Amorim has a working system. Deja vu. At the end of the day, Yorkshire Cowboy, at the end of the day, I would say that it's true that, you know what, we shouldn't have sacked Ten Hag, right? But we did, and it's done. And, we know I fought against it. But, obviously people in other fan channels thought better that we should sack him. Look, I'm not saying that maybe at the end of the season we needed to change Eric Ten Hag, but you know what? We needed to give him to the end of the season, and then maybe then we could have, brought in Ruben Amorim. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, look, we're doing everything the same as we're always doing and expecting different results. You know what? We're using the same bricks to build the same house that we knocked down last year. You know what I mean? That's what we're doing. We're using the same bricks, and obviously the foundation is not going to be as strong, is it? It's going to fall down again. And this is the problem that we're facing at the moment with managers, the sacking culture that I never thought that we would become. Football's a far more complicated game than just what ABC. You know what I mean? We remove the manager, that's it. Yeah, you'll get your little bit of a manager bounce. But this is why. This is the problem, right? This is the problem, that manager bounce is not a long-term thing. We can't live off manager bounces. We need a long-term plan. And this is what Ruben Amorim is trying to install at the moment. The good thing about Ruben Amorim is that he's removed certain players that I never thought would be removed from the football club, i.e. Marcus Rashford. I never thought he would be removed from the football club, even on loan. I was like, I'm like, wow. That shows you. And he's just walked into the job, guys. He's just walked into the job. And he's doing things like that. It's incredible. Facts about Swindon. Yeah, they would. Look, at the end of the day, look at Swindon, at least being in Champions League positions. Guys, you don't like, if you were around in the 90s, right? If you're around in the 90s, most of these teams will kill this Premier League. They would. People talk about athleticism and this and that. I saw them run more back in the 90s than they're running now. They used to drip with sweat. These days, you see them, they leave the pitch like they entered the pitch. Nothing. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Rasta, at what point was whatever happened at the end of a season, I'm a Manchester United, win or lose? Big up, Rasta. Big up, absolutely. Any average player for Fergie would be a world-class player in this team now today. Tybo, absolutely. You know, look, people think we're just being nostalgic and we're being old. Right, look, at the end of the day, nah. At the end of the day, we can get, I guarantee you, Tybo, right, we can get, right, the team of, let's say the team of 1994, 95 to 96. Let's say we got Steve Bruce. All right, let's say we got Steve Bruce in the team. We had Gary Neville in the team. Okay, we got Gary Pallister in the team. We got Dennis Irwin, Schmeichel in goal, Keane in the midfield, along with Paul Scholes, Ryan Giggs, David Beckham, Andy Cole, Dwight York, or Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And we had that team, and we played them now. Give them a month to get fit, right? Give them a month and play them again right now in the Premier League. They'll do better than this team. You think I'm joking? I'm telling you right now, they'll do better than this team, despite them being 50. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Big up, Charles. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Really good to see you. I see some United fans wanted Ollie back. I mean, they don't know what they want. They're crazy, Charles. They're crazy. I mean, they're nutty. They're not right up here. They have their favourites and they don't move away from their favourites. This is why we won't get success, because of dead opinions like that. You know what I mean? Dead opinion. I mean, are they crazy? Are they mad? I mean, I don't know. They're mad. Let's not forget, Ole spent about 300 million himself, didn't he? Goodness me. I'm with the managers, not interested in players. I'm not interested in player power, Lucky Singh. I'm not interested. What I do want is to back the manager, and we see what happens in the summer. And when the summer comes, and then we're going to see what happens, of course, guys. Absolutely. To play for the club. Big up, Lucky Singh, yourself. Big up yourself, guys. Big up. I watched Lenny Yoro interview Ferdinand. He talks how my manager. Absolutely. He's a very level-headed guy, isn't he, Rasta? Very level-headed, very, very intelligent guy, of course. Absolutely. I want to buy Embuemo in the summer. We'll have to wait and see what happens in the summer, isn't it? Premier League, a bit. I mean, you watch Embuemo come to Man United, and Embuemo will do badly, and then people will jump on Embuemo. You know, that is what's going to happen. You know that's going to happen. We'll get Embuemo. We need characters. We need to study the character, not just the footballer. We need to study the character. What Sir Alex Ferguson used to do is to study the character, guys. The character, not just the footballer. At the end of the day, guys, at the end of the day, we can throw names out there all day. They might not be right for Manchester United. Man United are a different animal. The only way this is going to work for Amorim is given free reign to make an assessment of the team. And after he makes the report in the summer, they give him what he requires in this. Absolutely, LT. Great comment. As I said, the bad apples. He can differentiate, he can separate the bad apples from the good apples. And then when he does, he can, you know what, he can say to Ineos and say, look, these players are not the ones, and I need this kind of player. Do you know what I mean? This kind of player to go forward. That's what I need at the end of the day. Lumen, Sal is criticizing Amorim and the same as wanted him out. No, criticizing is part of the game, Lumen. What I would say is that you can criticize, but the overall picture is that what is he supposed to do, Lumen? What is he supposed to do with players that are not his? He didn't have a pre-season, Lumen, right? And I say this with respect. He didn't have a pre-season. So what do you want him to do? How's he going to try out new systems and new teams and new strike forces and new positions if he hasn't had a pre-season? This is going to happen, but it's all for the greater good. You have to be patient. And remember, if this happens next season, then you can start going, well, you know what? He's got to pick it up. But right now, he's even told you there's going to be suffering, and we have to suffer. We have to get to where we're going to go. We're going to have to suffer. Players will drop. Some players will stay. And then in the summer, we'll see what happens if he gets backed by Ineos, of course. LT, the only way it's going to work is Amorim is going to give it. Yeah, absolutely. I think I read down. Big up, LT. Great comment. Absolutely. Big up, Lucky Singh. Get you, mate. Get you. Big up, Sal, as always. Big up, Lumen. Thank you so much for joining the stream as usual, my friend. Absolutely. Yes. So that is the overriding facts. And what I want is I am glad that Ruben Amorim is taking a stand against these players. I'm glad that, he's calling out some of these players and saying that if they do not pick it up, they won't be here next season. That is very, very important because they shouldn't be here next season. Lots of these players have been given endless amounts of opportunities at this football club to prove themselves, of course. Tybog, To be fair to me, it seems like Ineos gives a lot of support to Amorim when it comes to fighting player power. I agree. Ruben had some very harsh words till now, and there was no reaction from the club. That is, look, Tybook, nothing is absolute, right? I won't come on here and be overly pessimistic in regards to Ineos. I will always call out good things when I see good things, because that is the sign of intelligence, right? There's some people who come on streams and just hate on people and hate and hate and hate, and they do not move away from that narrative. I'm not a fan of Ineos, but there's some things Ineos have done that I've agreed with. The summer transfer window as a first window was not bad. You know, that's not bad. Backing of Amorim in regards to the player power has been good. They've made mistakes though, and those need to be called out as well. Do you know what I mean? Those need to be called out as well. But absolutely spot on, Tyborg. Very good comment. That is exactly right. They should be giving Ruben Amorim this power to clear this mess, because if they are intelligent, if Ineos are intelligent, Jim Ratcliffe is surely intelligent. He's a billionaire. He should know. If they're intelligent enough, they should know that it's not the manager. And they know that from Erik ten Hag now. The brief period that they had with Erik ten Hag, they would know that it's not the manager. Absolutely. Lumen. Sal, did Leighton make you proud yesterday? Absolutely. Leighton made me very proud yesterday. Just losing 2-1 to Manchester City. Of course, Manchester City, one of the best teams in the world. Leighton Orient are in League One in England. League One is like the Premier League, the Championship, and then the League One. Leighton Orient are one of the best performing teams in the country at the moment. I'm very close to Leighton Orient, as people know. I've done a lot of work with Leighton Orient in the past. Glad that they've done very well yesterday. Very, very, very made a good account of themselves. And it took Man City, they're bringing in all their big guns to win that game. Absolutely. Did very proud, absolutely. I always keep one eye on Leighton Orient. You know what? Because obviously I'm a Leighton guy, you know what I mean? So I keep one eye on Leighton Orient and I see how they're doing. I mean, that game was brilliant. Of course, I would have liked them to get a draw, but unfortunately just couldn't quite get the draw. But 2-1 is not a bad result. Absolutely not. Lucky Singh, fans need to remember we haven't got squad yet. Absolutely, Lucky Singh. And that is the bottom line, Lucky Singh. Thank you very much. That is the bottom line. We do not have the squad at the moment. And until we got the squad, we can't keep jumping on Ruben Amorim. It is insanity. It is insanity at the end of the day. Players like Diego Dalot, Lindelof will be moved the same as Rashford. I mean, look, at the end of the day, Lindelof's contract is running out. Rashford looks like he might be out the club, hopefully. Diego Dalot, I'm not sure what's going to happen with Diego Dalot. Look, everyone knows my stance on Diego Dalot. I don't know what's happened with Diego Dalot. I mean, he has dropped off quite significantly. But then again, so has Bruno. You know what I mean? There's many players that are dropping off. We can't have drop-offs at Manchester United. We can't have, you know what, I was raised on Dennis Irwin and Paul Parker and, you know, Patrice Evra and players like that of that nature. Do you know what I mean? And I didn't see drop-offs. I saw consistency. And that is what Man United should be, is consistency. You know, and if you're playing for this great badge, you need to show it. You need to show that you're good enough. And we shouldn't be sentimental towards some players. We shouldn't have hidden feelings for players. I don't agree with that. I have no emotional attachment to these players. These players have given me no reason to be emotionally attached to them. You know, at the end of the day, they give me disappointment. At the end of the day, every time I watch these games, these players can be disappointed. But what I would say is this. Anything can happen in football. We are in the FA Cup. We're still in the FA Cup. And we're still in the Europa League. So let's see what happens. Let's see what goes on. If these players can turn up and make something magic happen, you know what? Then maybe they'll get enough opportunity at this football club, of course. Sanjay, I remember the train, the Leighton Buzzard. Leighton Buzzard is not Leighton. Leighton Buzzard is somewhere else, my friend. Leighton as in Leyton. Leytonstone. If you know Leytonstone, Sanjay, Leytonstone is the place where David Beckham was born. It is in East London. East London. Leighton Buzzard is somewhere else in the north of England. I believe. So Leighton is in East London. So Leighton and Leytonstone are very close together. Leytonstone, Stratford, if you know the Olympics in 2012, that's where it was. And Leighton is in East London, not Leighton Buzzard. Absolutely. I also think that players are also feeling the pressure that the power they have diminished and get into grips with having to consistently perform. And I can see them trying but not doing the basics. Have you seen, LT? Have you seen the way that this team start games? They start sometimes playing the system really well. And then as soon as the opposition do something like a bit of an attack or show a little bit of threat, they panic. Have you seen this? They panic. That is a mentality problem. They just, and it doesn't matter whether you're playing 4-5-1, 4-4-2, 4-3-3, 3-4-2-1, whatever it is. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. If you haven't got the mentality, you could be playing 1-1-1-1-1. It doesn't matter. You know, you've got to build your mentality. And I don't think these players have the mentality to play any system, regardless what the system is, of course. Absolutely. Big up LT, by the way. It seems like we have a much better scouting network now compared to the Woodward era, where only bought shirt sellers. Dorgu is a good example of this, and I hope for the future. Let's hope, Tyborg. Look, at the end of the day, being negative all the time, it won't do our blood pressure any good. It won't do us any good. You know what? At the end of the day, we just have to analyze and watch it, enjoy it, and hope we win. And I'll support this football club through thick and thin. Rashford hopefully does well and sell him, cause absolutely I agree. I agree with that. Hopefully he does do well and we do sell him on, of course, guys. Guys, thank you. Look, it's going to be a shorter show today. I'm back tomorrow for Breaking Dawn. I want to thank everyone who's been joining me on these streams every single day. You absolute legends. I've got a lot of things planned. There will be more membership videos. Don't forget, you can become a member by following the link. And there's going to be more membership videos coming very, very soon, guys. Got some great content coming for you guys as well in regards to interviews and everything. I've already had a couple of interviews this year so far. We're going to have some big interviews this year as well, guys. Absolutely. Nice one, brother. Thank you so much, Ultra Cowboy. And guys, don't forget, look, let me tell you something. And I'm going to put this here. I'm not Jerry Springer, but I'm going to say a final thought, right? What I would say is that I know that we're frustrated. I know that we're angry. And I know that our mind is going all sorts of places. We're looking at one thing and we're concentrating on that one thing. And we're just focus on that one thing. It's very tunnel vision. What we need to do is look at Manchester United, excuse me, as a collective. We need to look at Manchester United as a collective and think that it's not just one thing that's the problem, but the overriding thing I want in regards to the fan base, I want us to back this manager and no slight indirects in regards to the manager, because I've seen a lot of this lately. And you know what? It's not going to work, guys. It's not going to work. We just sack Ruben Amorim. Who are we going to get in? Ancelotti, Pep Guardiola would not solve this issue at Man United, guys. At the end of the day, he is one of the best managers in the world. And we have to back him and we have to make sure that, and Ineos in the summer, look, I'm going to let them off this summer, this winter, even though that they should have backed the manager, even though that should have happened. I'm going to win it. I'm going to let them off reluctantly, right? I'm going to let them off. But in the summer, they're going to have to back the manager 100%. I don't want any excuses anymore, guys. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Tyborg, absolute legend. Thank you very much, Lucky Singh, for joining me. Come off the bench of Villa. Big up yourself. Thank you so much. And big up Sanjay, of course, guys. Absolutely. Guys, thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining me. I'll be back tomorrow for Breaking Dawn, if nothing else breaks. Have a fabulous evening, night, morning, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for your fantastic support, as usual. Become a member. Don't forget, it's very important. I've got some great content coming as well, guys. Thank you, guys. Have a great evening. I'm Sal Warner. This is Chatterbox. See you soon. Peace.